What's up, Taiwan? I'm Louise with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's military says 39 Chinese warplanes were spotted around the country's airspace. Among these, 30 planes flew into Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. The zone is not part of the country's territory, but serves as a buffer for security purposes. The Chinese flight group included a combat drone, over 20 fighter jets, and an anti-submarine helicopter. China, which considers Taiwan as part of its territory, often sends warplanes into the ADIZ as a form of political pressure. There have been more than 1,600 incursions this year, a record number. Taiwan's military says it is monitoring the situation. For more on the latest incursions, our reporter Jaime Ocon spoke to Ben Louise, an independent defense analyst based in Washington, D.C.
So what can you tell us about the recent incursion?
So today the MND put out a statement that said 30 aircraft were tracked in the ADIZ. This is the largest number in one day since November 7th. And it was a wide spread of aircraft. You had a UAV, you had a large quantity of fighter aircraft, 2 airborne early warning and command aircraft, and a Y-20 aerial refueling aircraft, which was conducting, it seemed to be an aerial refueling operation alongside some of the fighters, 4 strategic bombers, and additionally, you had a ship-launched helicopter to the southwest of Taiwan. So it was a complex operation drill they were running for this day's incursions, and I think it's very demonstrative of the PLA's growing capabilities. I think it's quite significant. I mean, the Y-20 came in, was activated at around late 2021. And the PLA now has the ability to fly its aircraft much further. And with these airborne early warning and command aircraft, they're coordinating with these different kinds of aircraft around the area of operations that they're flying in. And I think it provides them the ability to really maximize the diversity of their capabilities towards whatever objective they're trying to accomplish.
What can you tell us about the timing of this incursion?
So the incursion comes at kind of a unique intersection of events. An EU delegation is visiting Taiwan, bringing up discussions of potential trade deals. The Taiwanese military began new missile tests for its new anti-ship missile platform. That should go on throughout the week. And then, of course, China is experiencing massive COVID outbreaks, which is not really a good thing from a PR standpoint for Beijing. So really any of those things or all of those things could be the reason why Beijing has chosen to conduct such a large incursion. And then additionally, it's another example of Beijing attempting to normalize this kind of behavior and to kind of set the status quo in a very unpredictable state so that they can operate pretty much with impunity with their military assets.
That was Jaime Ocon speaking with DC-based defense analyst Ben Louise. Taiwan's government is working to extend its high-speed rail line along the east coast. While the project is in its early stages, locals are already raising objections to how it's being carried out and a perceived lack of transparency from state officials. Eric Gao reports.
A public hearing with only a few members of the public in attendance. Earlier this week, Taiwan's Transport Ministry held this open meeting in Yilan to talk about plans to extend the country's high-speed rail line. But local residents say they weren't informed about the hearing in advance.
在地的居民有多少人来？来的都是民意代表。你今天要盖这个高铁，要拆我的房子，要征收我的土地，不需要让我知道吗？
The proposed rail extension would run for just over 60 kilometers from the capital Taipei in the north to Yilan in the east. If everything stays on schedule, the final plan will be approved in 2025 and the line will begin operations in 2036. But residents say there are still a lot of unknowns about the plan.
它的配置、它的拆迁，最重要它的财务、成本效益、经济效益、市场率等等，最重要的这个计划本身最重要的内容，我们所有的不管是地方民众或者是我觉得升级宜兰县政府可能都不太清楚。
Officials say that their outreach efforts could be improved.
我们可以来检讨一下，看用什么方式来让这个在地的乡亲其实还有广泛跟社会大众大家来了解这件事情。
However, they also say residents' concerns are being listened to and respected.
这个方案是一直在配合一个实际的状况，或者是民众的意见反映，还有跟县府的沟通，这边其实都有在做一些维护的调整。
While they are promising more transparency, officials say numerous aspects of the rail line plans have yet to be finalized. And until they are, there cannot be announcements as to what will happen next. Eason Pan and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
A proposed change to the law to curb housing speculation in Taiwan has passed its first reading in the legislature. The draft rules say that a fine of up to $1.6 million could be imposed on anyone trying to resell new properties within 5 years. Acting Minister of the Interior, Hua Jingchun, said that if implemented in the next 3 months, the legislation could see housing prices level off after the Lunar New Year. He added that real estate prices could even in the long term begin to fall. Taiwan's residential real estate market has been accelerating since 2016, despite low economic growth. Taiwanese basketball team, the Taoyuan Leopards, have offered angry fans compensation for a game they lost on Sunday. The Leopards have offered fans the option to trade in their tickets from the game for any of the team's next 11 matches. They can also get a 50% discount on merchandise in the Leopards online store. Ticket buyers were infuriated on Sunday after ex-NBA star player Dwight Howard sat out the game due to a recurring knee injury. But the team did not announce Howard was on the injury list before tickets for the game were sold. Team manager Brett Su apologized and announced his resignation immediately after the game. Thursday is the winter solstice, and people in Taiwan are starting to bundle up as a new cold front nears. Our reporter Jeremy Olivier went out to see how people in Taiwan traditionally mark the shortest day of the year.
Few people in the West observe the winter solstice, which falls on December 22nd this year. But in Taiwan, this day, known in Chinese as Dongzhi, is almost as important as the Lunar New Year. So what do Taiwanese people usually do on Dongzhi?
冬至是代表我们台湾人的习俗代表那个福满圆满，大家吃汤圆就很圆满的意思。
我们会就是全家去超市买汤圆，然后回家煮这样子。
吃汤圆啊，像今天就是来买汤圆啊，吃汤圆。对，我都吃芝麻汤圆。
So as you can see, most people spend time with family and eat tangyuan during the winter solstice. These glutinous rice balls are usually served in a warm, sweet broth or with red bean soup. They often come in 2 colors, white and pink, and there's a saying that if you don't eat both together, you won't grow a year older.
Well, I'm definitely not getting any younger, but that's okay. If there's good food involved, you can count me in. So to get into the solstice spirit, I've decided to grab a bowl of tangyuan at a local vendor.
You can find tangyuan pretty much anywhere in Taiwan, but some places have their own food traditions to greet the winter months. The southern city of Tainan boasts a steamed dumpling dish named after the holiday called Dongzhi Bao. It's made with wheat flour, which gives its skin a thick texture, and filled with minced pork and vegetables. Locals say it has a particular significance.
是缅怀我们的祖先，告诉我们祖先，这一年我们也是丰收的，也是很平安的。
This food is so popular around the solstice time that many of the shops that make it are having trouble keeping up with the demand.
三天的有定量是3000几粒。
Back in Taipei, I'm fine with sticking with the classic tangyuan this year, but I might need to wait for it to cool off first.
Isnaya Cho and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
I think I'm off for a second lunch now. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with, yes, more images of Santa Claus, this time floating above Jerusalem in a hot air balloon. I'm Louise Watt. Take care, and I'll see you next time.